I, 31 male, met Jasmine, 29, 3 years ago at a friend's housewarming. She was this free-spirited artist type, taught yoga part-time, sold crystals on Etsy, always talking about energy and manifestation. I was an accountant who thought meditation was just expensive napping. Opposites attracted, I guess. First year was actually great. She got me to try yoga. I'm still terrible. I helped her set up actual bookkeeping for her Etsy store. We moved in together after 14 months. That's when things started shifting. See, Jasmine had this philosophy that the universe would provide if you just believed hard enough. Cute in theory. In practice, it meant I was the universe, apparently. Started small. She quit her yoga teaching gig because the studio had toxic energy. Cool. I could cover rent for a month while she found something else. That month turned into 6. Then she needed $2,000 for a crystal healing certification. Then another $1,500 for sacred geometry workshops. I kept paying because I loved her and thought she was finding her path. Plus, she kept promising that once she got certified in whatever new thing, she'd start contributing. Spoiler, she never did. 8 months ago, she discovered this guru on Instagram. Zephyr, probably not his real name. Dude posted daily about abundance mindsets and twin flames from his villa in Bali. Jasmine was obsessed, watched every story, bought his $400 manifestation course, even got his symbol tattooed on her wrist. That's when she started talking about needing to go to Bali. Not for vacation, for a spiritual awakening retreat at Zephyr's Healing Center. 3 months. $15,000 not including flights. I laughed. She didn't. Babe, that's insane. That's more than you've earned in 2 years. She hit me with, this is why you'll never understand true abundance. You're blocked by scarcity mindset. If you really loved me, you'd invest in my spiritual growth. We argued for weeks. She'd leave printouts of testimonials on my desk. Send me videos about supporting your partner's journey. Even had her friend Moonbeam, yes, really, call to explain how her boyfriend funded her Peru ayahuasca retreat, and now they're cosmically bonded. The manipulation peaked when she said, I've been feeling so disconnected from us. This retreat would help me become the partner you deserve. Don't you want me to be happy? After 2 months of this, I was exhausted. So I said those magic words, your inner peace is my priority. She literally squealed. Started planning immediately. Bought $800 worth of retreat where on my credit card, told everyone about her journey. Even started a blog called Jasmine Ascending, where she'd document her transformation. Little did she know, I was planning too. See, I've been doing some research on Zephyr. Real name, Kyle Morrison from Ohio. His healing center was just a hostel he rented rooms from. The sacred ceremonies were basically yoga classes on the beach. Several reviews mentioned people being stranded when they realized it was a scam. I also did some research on Jasmine. Turns out she'd been demaying Kyle. Excuse me, Zephyr. Some pretty interesting stuff, including photos that definitely weren't about chakras and messages about how her current situation, me, was just temporary until she could manifest her true reality. So yeah, she wanted to go to Bali? I'd help her go to Bali. Update 1. The day before her flight, Jasmine was glowing. She'd spent the whole week doing pre-retreat cleanses and meditation. Posted 12 Instagram stories about releasing what no longer serves while sitting in the apartment I paid for. I played along perfectly. Drove her to the airport, carried her overpriced luggage, even gave her $500 cash for emergencies. She gave me this condescending smile and said, when I come back, I'll be able to teach you so much about authentic living. Can't wait, I said, hugging her goodbye. Soon as her plane took off, I got to work. First, I called my landlord, explained the situation, showed him the lease, only my name, and arranged to change the locks. Cost me $150, but included new keys same day. Then I packed. Every crystal, every sage bundle, every manifestation journal, all went in boxes. Carefully labeled, Jasmine's spiritual belongings. Her clothes, her laptop, everything. I wasn't petty enough to damage anything, but I was thorough. Found some interesting stuff while packing. Like the credit card she'd opened using my social security number. Or the fact she'd been selling my things on Facebook Marketplace, my watch, my signed baseball, even my old laptop. Total, about $3,000. The best find? A notebook where she'd written her post-Bali plan. Apparently, she was going to come back transformed, convince me to fund her opening a wellness center, then gradually phase me out once it was profitable. She'd even written, "E is too boring to fight the divorce. Will probably give me half just to avoid conflict." E. She called me E. Not Ethan. Just E. I left all her boxes in the building's storage room with a note for the super. Then I placed a single piece of paper on what used to be her pillow. "If you love someone, let them go. Monk Thich Nhat Hanh. P.S. Your belongings are in storage. Your retreat is now permanent. Namaste." Then I blocked her on everything and went to get a beer with my buddy Marcus. He'd been telling me she was bad news for 2 years. Bought me a shot and said, "Welcome back to reality, brother." Jasmine landed in Bali about 16 hours later. Based on the 73 missed calls from random numbers over the next day, I'd say she got my message. Update 2. Y'all, the entitlement escalation has been spectacular. So Jasmine managed to contact me through my work email. The subject line, "This is spiritual abuse." I'm not kidding. She accused me of violating her sacred journey and creating negative karma that will haunt me for lifetimes. Also claimed I was legally obligated to support her because we were common law married. We're not, I checked. But here's where it gets good. Remember Zephyr/Kyle? Well, turns out his retreat center was even shadier than I thought. Jasmine paid the $15,000 up front from her secret credit card in my name. Yeah, that's fraud. But when she arrived, the luxury eco lodge was a room with 6 bunk beds and a shared bathroom. The organic awakening meals were instant ramen. She demanded a refund. Kyle/Zephyr blocked her. So now she's stuck in Bali with no money. The $500 lasted 2 days on her abundance mindset, no return ticket, and no place to stay after the first week. Her solution? Send me an invoice. An actual invoice for emotional damages, $10,000. Breach a relationship contract, $15,000. Theft of spiritual property, $5,000. Return flight, $2,000. Total, $32,000. She CC'd a lawyer on the email. I looked him up. Dude's Instagram bio says spiritual legal advisor and Reiki master. Not even licensed to practice law. But the entitlement didn't stop there. She got Moonbeam and her whole crystal crew to start harassing me. They showed up at my apartment building, doing some kind of healing circle in the lobby, burning sage, and chanting about releasing toxic masculine energy. The building manager called the cops. Moonbeam told them they were performing an emergency spiritual intervention and that I was possessed by dark entities. The cops asked if they were on drugs. Moonbeam said drugs were for people with low vibrational frequencies. They got trespassed from the property. Then came the family involvement. Jasmine's mom, who I'd met exactly twice, called me crying. Not because she was worried about Jasmine, but because Jasmine had also maxed out her credit card before leaving. About $8,000 for retreat preparation expenses. She told me you were paying her back, her mom wailed. "Ma'am, your daughter committed credit card fraud against me too. I'm not paying anyone back." Plot twist. Her mom asked if I want to file a police report together. Meanwhile, Jasmine had moved from the retreat scam to staying with some random Australian tourists she met at a bar. She was posting Instagram stories about the universe providing while literally couch surfing and eating their food. The Australians lasted 3 days before kicking her out for trying to steal one of their passports. She tried to claim it was a misunderstanding, and she was just drawn to its energy. Update 3. The spiral continues, folks. Jasmine managed to get Moonbeam to start a crowdfunding campaign. Help bring our spiritual sister home from her sabotage journey. They raised $127, mostly from Moonbeam's mom. But here's where Jasmine really played herself. She decided to try to make money in Bali by becoming an enlightenment coach. Set up a whole Instagram page, Awakened with Jasmine, Transform Your Reality. Her first client was a German tourist who paid her $50 for a chakra reading on the beach. She told him his root chakra was blocked, and he needed to transfer $2,000 to her for an emergency healing intensive. The German tourist was actually a cop on vacation. He reported her for fraud. Balinese authorities don't play. She got arrested, held for 48 hours, and told she had 7 days to leave the country or face formal charges. Problem: still no money for a flight. She sent me another email, this time no spiritual stuff, just, please, I need help. I made mistakes, but I could die here. I didn't respond, but I did something else. Remember that credit card fraud? I filed a police report. With all the evidence, the forged application, the Facebook marketplace sales, everything. Also contacted the 3 credit bureaus to freeze my credit and dispute all the charges. The police issued a warrant in the U.S., where she was desperate to return to. Her mom called again, this time angry at me. How could you file charges when she's stranded? You're going to get her arrested at the airport. She committed fraud multiple times against multiple people, but she was finding herself. She can find herself in accountability. Meanwhile, the Australian tourist she tried to rob posted about her in a Bali travel warning group. Someone recognized her from Zephyr/Kyle's retreat scam. Turns out she wasn't the only one. There were 12 people stuck after paying for the fake retreat. They formed a group chat. Then they found Kyle, still in Bali, living in a nice villa under another name. I don't know exactly what went down, but Kyle suddenly found the money to refund everyone. Jasmine got her $15,000 back, which the Balinese authorities immediately froze because of her pending fraud investigation. She had to use $2,000 of it to pay for a flight home. The rest is being held until the investigation is complete. Update 4. Jasmine landed back home on a Tuesday. Got arrested at customs on Wednesday. The credit card fraud charges were just a start. Turns out when the police searched her storage unit, warrant covered it. They found evidence of a lot more. She'd been running a whole side business selling fake blessed crystals that were just bulk rocks from Alibaba. She'd also been claiming to be a licensed therapist on her coaching website. That's practicing without a license. Another charge. Her arraignment was something. She showed up in full spiritual regalia, flowing robes, crystals around her neck, the works. Told the judge she didn't recognize the court's authority because she was a sovereign being of light. The judge said, the state of state name disagrees. Bail set at $10,000. Moonbeam and the Crystal crew try to raise bail money. They made it to $300 before everyone realized Jasmine had scammed them all at some point. Moonbeam discovered Jasmine had been sleeping with her boyfriend during their Tantra workshops. Another girl found out the rare Moldavite she'd bought for $500 was just green glass. The spiritual community turned on her fast. Her mom bailed her out eventually, but with conditions. Jasmine had to move back home, get an actual job, and pay her back everything. Her mom also made her sign a confession about the credit card fraud so she couldn't wiggle out of it later. But the peak entitlement? Jasmine sent me one last message through her lawyer, a real one this time, public defender. She wanted me to write a character reference for her sentencing. Said I should do it because we shared a journey together and despite everything, you know my heart is pure. My response through my lawyer, no. Her heart is not pure. It's fraudulent. Final update. The legal system works slow, but it works. Jasmine pled guilty to credit card fraud, against me 2 years probation, restitution of $3,000. Credit card fraud, against her mom 1 year probation, restitution of $8,000. Theft, selling my belongings 6 months probation, restitution of $3,000. Practicing therapy without a license, fine of $5,000. Wire fraud, fake crystals 18 months probation, restitution to victims. Total, 3 years probation, sentences concurrent, $19,000 in restitution, $5,000 in fines, 200 hours community service. She also got banned from using any crowdfunding platforms, selling anything related to wellness or spirituality, calling herself a coach, therapist, or healer, leaving the country during probation. The judge literally said, Ms. Jasmine, you've turned spirituality into a criminal enterprise. Your journey to find yourself led you straight to federal charges. She's working at a call center now. Her mom makes her pay $500 a month in rent plus restitution payments. She had to sell all her crystals, ritual supplies, and designer retreat were to pay the fines. Moonbeam and the crew completely ostracized her. Someone made a Facebook page. Jasmine blocked my chakras, a support group. It has 47 members. They share their scam stories. It's hilarious and sad. But here's the best part. Kyle/Zephyr got arrested too. After refunding the retreat money in Bali, he thought he was clear. Nope. The Balinese authorities worked with the FBI. Wire fraud across international borders is serious. He's looking at 5 to 10 years. Jasmine has to testify against him as part of her plea deal. She tried to contact me one last time before the Kyle trial. Email subject: we're both victims here. Content: I know you're angry, but we were both scammed by Kyle. I was vulnerable and seeking meaning. You could have supported me instead of abandoning me in a foreign country. I manifested this message reaching your heart. Please remember who I really was. I forwarded it to my lawyer with one note: still delusional. Please handle. As for me, life's good. Started dating Rebecca, an actual therapist who thinks crystals are pretty rocks and meditation is just relaxation. She read all these posts and said, you know what? You handled that with more patience than most would. I got all my money back through the restitution and insurance claims. Even got my signed baseball back, found it at a pawn shop. My credits recovered. My apartment's peaceful. No more sage burning at 3 a.m. No more abundance ceremonies that somehow require my credit card. No more lectures about my blocked chakras when I asked her to get a job. Sometimes I pass by the crystal shop where Moonbeam works. There's a photo behind the counter of their crew at some festival. Jasmine's face is covered with a sticky note that says banned, do not serve. The universe really did provide, just not how she expected. To anyone dealing with a similar situation, document everything. File those reports. Don't let spiritual growth be an excuse for financial abuse. And remember, if someone needs $15,000 to find themselves, they're probably just trying to lose you. Peace out. I'm going to go enjoy my abundance of not being scammed. Victory hand. Edit. Stop asking for Jasmine's Instagram. It got banned anyway for fraudulent business practices. Edit 2. No, I don't feel bad. She committed actual crimes. Finding yourself doesn't mean finding other people's credit cards. Edit 3. Moonbeam is her legal name. She changed it in 2018. Her birth name was Jennifer. The jokes write themselves. Edit 4. To everyone saying this is fake because no one would actually act like this, you've clearly never dated someone in this spiritual community who uses manifestation as an excuse for theft. Lucky you.